Hello. Welcome to another Website Depot podcast. As ever, I'm your host, Greg Benevent, and today we're going to come at you with some more tips and advice, different ways you can help your business in really just a few minutes each day. Very lucky and glad to have once again with me the great Zeke Hernandez. Zeke, how you doing, man?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing well. I am here in the home office.
Excellent, excellent. As you can see, the home office tracking the Rebel Alliance through Silver Lake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
we're taking out the Rebel scum and helping large clients with SEO, large and small clients.
I was worried about whether or not I could say the word scum. I'm glad you broke the barrier on that. I feel much better.
As far as
now.
I know, it's not on the FCC ban list. So
It is not. I'm just this. As we're getting to more of these Website Depot podcasts, we're expanding our boundaries and seeing more and more about what is possible. So, yes, with all that in mind, we were talking a bit earlier. You have some tips about ways to help your business rank that much higher.
yeah, I mean, just kind of as a premise of what we're going to be doing, like me and you here, is be giving everyday people or business owners or our clients that listen to us some tips about how to rank better, how to make things better, something that they could do rather than something that's like it kind of falls on us sometimes and we can help. But there's just one thing that's been going on. I've been getting a lot of influx of phone calls with this, and in many cases, the ball is in their courts. Now, I'm not talking about a business owner per se. I'm not talking about like just like any like big CEO or anything. I'm talking about anybody that owns a website. And if you care about ranking, there's certain things that you could do when you handle your domain that could make it rank better. Quite a few things. And it's just kind of like the way that Google, Bing, Yahoo all look at these things. So here's basically the tip. And I'll give you a little bit of background is we're a full service web agency. And a lot of times we're getting a lot of calls. We do try to track this as much as possible that a domain is up. And in many cases, we did not purchase a domain. This business has been in existence for years. And although we might have some credentials or limited access, we're not always alerted or privy to just what day that this domain may expire. So in some cases, we're scrambling when we get a phone call that, hey, why is it down? We could see easily that, hey, your domain is expired and whatnot, right? So there's things you could do when registering that are going to definitely help your cause. We could start with the first tip that say someone's just getting started as a business or they're just starting their website. You're very interested in ranking well on Google. Well, be clever and be kind of choosy with what domain you choose because you could contain some main keywords within that domain you choose, and that in itself is going to help you rank much faster and much higher. That's my first tip for you.
Well, I mean, okay, no, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm just thinking about that again, thinking in perfect layperson's terms. So is it, when you say that about choosing the domain name with the keywords, like what, is there like a generic example of that, or like putting keywords in the you know, your website address? I mean, what specifically do you mean there? Like,
say for example, this is like an acquired taste, and I'm just throwing this out there. Like some people like Alfredo pizza.
Yeah.
Not every pizza place has Alfredo pizza.
Certainly not.
So say I'm starting up an Alfredo pizza place. Let's call it Alfredo Pizza Los Angeles.
Makes sense.
LA Alfredo Pizza Kitchen. Something along those lines. Versus you know, Alfred's Cheese Pizza, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to misname it. You want to put yourself in a good position to start. Now, hopefully that clarifies it. Or
certainly, absolutely.
Okay, something like that. So say I had a wonderful, and I'm not like, I don't seek this stuff out, but I just stumbled upon some Alfredo chicken pizza. It was great and that kind of stuff. So
it does sound interesting.
People do go look for that stuff, and that's the way to get found. Like that's a way to give yourself a leg up. If say that's your specialty, say you're a tree service, tree cutting service, LA tree cutting service, that kind of thing. Now it might be taken, so you want to look into different variations of that. You could also make use of dashes in there, and be clever with it. You could split up the words like that.
Okay. That makes
Here's
a lot
another.
of sense.
Yeah. Well, it's something that's often overlooked when people, choose things. Sometimes it's very iffy. I'm like, oh, who thought of this domain? It's kind of like acronyms, but nobody knows what the acronyms mean. Why not put those words in that actually signal that this is a topic?
Gotcha. As opposed to having to
But
say the acronym to every customer or investor you meet or talk
yeah,
to. Yeah.
exactly. There's another tip that this isn't as weighty as this though.
Hmm.
And of course, the biggest weight thing in SEO, as we say, is quality content. Once you get that, start filling it up with quality content and whatnot, right?
Hmm.
But another thing you want to do is your privacy settings when you sign up. It's always going to give you these options. Do you want to remain private? Do you want to hide your name? Do you want to hide your address? Now, if you want to be an established business, now if you're an individual doing like a celebrity gossip page or something,
Hmm.
then maybe you want to opt for private, maybe.
Certainly.
But
Understandable.
if
Hmm.
you're looking to be a serious established business, then what you're going to want to do is not remain private. You want to have your information public. You want to have like your incorporated name in there, and also public to everyone who might look up your domain registration,
Hmm.
because that stuff, believe it or not, there's a big listing, and it'll either say private or public, but it'll also give you other information about
Gotcha.
where the server is and stuff, other technical jargon. But Google, in a sense, they like when a business has themselves transparent there, that hey, we are located in this city. This is how you contact this domain provider. We basically that you are a true established incorporated business.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing that's going to help you in having more staying power, at least like on whatever rankings you achieve through
Hmm.
your content, through your clever domain name and whatnot. Now,
Absolutely.
here's something that I learned, and it kind of kills a bunch of birds with one stone.
Oh.
Um, and it's a problem that we often have with clients, and a way that you could kind of avoid this,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it could help your domain's credibility and thus the rankability,
Oh.
how it
Okay.
ranks. And this
Yeah.
is something I learned I was like, oh, I wasn't very privy to this, but actually, if you go ahead and just pay for your domain a few years in advance, what it
Hmm.
does is in that registration, it's going to show that your domain expires several years out in advance. Now, one thing that
Right.
Google always fights against is a bunch of those spam, those spam harvesting, link harvesting websites
Oh
that are
yeah.
not very legitimate, but they're
Mm.
meant to game the system,
There's
right?
a whole bunch of them.
So
Yeah.
the vast majority of those are only registered for about a year. And then say
Ah.
they just renew, or they go off, or they go into sale, they get traded, they get sent off to a new owner and whatnot.
Hmm.
What you want to
Okay.
do to send the right signal
Uh-huh.
is to go ahead and pay for your domain several years in advance. Put it in a well-established email that you're going to be able to access in those future years. That's another tip that I have. But other than that, what it's going to see that you're established, you mean business, and although this isn't as big of a ranking factor as say website age. Website age is something that you can't really tweak other
Mm.
than you start your website and you start putting things in there.
Right.
Website age is a really big thing that's gonna overall be a prevailing factor, right? But
Gotcha.
um, this thing is definitely gonna help you out, and also it kills a bunch of birds with one stone, because you don't suddenly have your website flash off and like, oh damn, the date came up, and all of a
Right.
sudden I have a countdown till they delete my files, or we have
Oh
a
jeez.
countdown till the website goes down, and then I have
Mm.
to call, hey, I have somebody like Zeke or his team, or Danny
Hmm.
and his team,
Hmm.
that are looking after it. Hey, maybe they'll help us out. But hey, you registered it, you gave us like the stuff, so we don't have the actual date. I mean, that's something that maybe we can improve and take a
Okay.
step further and
Hmm.
start logging those dates all the time,
Oh yeah.
because we're always trying to minimize any downtime. So we have a
Hmm.
software that flashes when something goes down, but looking ahead, like if you take care of this like years ahead, we're gonna have to be dealing with this much less,
Right.
and it's gonna just eliminate that. So that's my tip, and
No,
that's
that That's a great tip, and you know, I've been thinking about that while you've been talking. I remember, like, that really is something that, you know, I mean, obviously, once you know, check us out, Website Depot, be client and all that. But like, if you're just listening to this podcast or seeing about it, you can do that with your business anywhere. Like, it's not, you know, it's I keep
Yeah.
thinking about like when there, I think it's off of our site now, but there used to be a thing on our website from before I came to work at Website Depot where it said like, it basically comparing your online marketing to a car. And that analogy has always stuck with me. And with this particular thing you're talking about, like, this is, you know, this is something that if your business is a car, like, this is the equivalent of you're keeping air in the tires, you're keeping gas in the tank, you're washing it. It's a little thing
Yeah.
you can do that will go a long way. Now, if you want the car to go, you know, be faster or be a better car, then you got to take it to Website Depot and let us punch up the engine and repaint the thing and put on the hydrofoil and all this. But these are little things that you, the business
Yeah.
owner, can do to keep up with, to make things go that much smoother. That's
It
what I
saves
got from
time and headaches, and if you want to get to the end game, which we always like to help people get to, higher rankings, the top of Google against your competition, this is a way that'll help push you towards that direction. But also, it's going to save that headache. The way I would equate you equivocated some really good things, but the way I would say is like, hey, maybe it's going to save like a trip to the DMV or something,
That's a
because
much
you
better
know.
analogy. Yes.
Well, the other analogy would be like, you know, you're going to be calling GoDaddy, and they put people on hold for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their domain
GoDaddy is
on
not
GoDaddy.
worried about your business going down for a minute. That is really not their concern.
So you're in the order that you came in.
Right, right.
Yeah,
They do not exactly have a responsibility to you.
yeah,
Yes, no, that's all really good analogy. No, that's all. This is a super helpful thing, and that's something that, hey, you know, from what you're saying, you know, someone wants to do that for their business. It's going to take them what, 10 minutes, 15, if that. I mean,
Oh,
it's
geez, like when you start your website, like it might take a little brainstorming or whatever. You might have to put a little thought into it, but
oh, to get that address
say
right.
you already
Yeah.
have that. You already have that established. You just go log into whatever your domain provider is, go into the privacy settings, and then just switch it off. If your info's not filled out, fill it in. Fill it in a way that, you know, don't put your apartment number or anything, but put in like your
Yeah,
incorporated number. I mean,
right.
you can put your city and whatnot, and you can leave some info back there.
Yeah, it doesn't need your PIN
That's what's
number,
going to be
Social
public.
Security.
It
Yeah, right.
doesn't really take that long. All you do is change the settings, type in a few fields, and then finally, yeah, the registration thing. It's like you're going to pay that much anyways, right?
Hmm.
I mean, once the time comes, and actually, most of those companies, if you pay it all up front, the more you pay up front, the more they'll take off, they'll skim off the top. You'll actually save money.
Oh, right. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they want you to do that because they want your money today. So then they'll give you better price going forward.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
really
It's
good
like a
point too.
bundle price, but you will save some money off that. It's kind of like just a few bucks, but
Hmm.
it's gonna save you worrying about it. Say a year from now, say me forgetting I did this last September, and then
Right.
holy crap, my website that's getting 100 orders a day just went down because I forgot.
Hmm. It's especially true if you're new to it and it's not like, you know,
Yeah,
again, not to keep using a car thing, but not like a car payment where you got to make it all the time. We're not you're in that rhythm or used to paying it. So yeah, no, that's a super helpful tip. You can save money and help your business to rank higher online. That's great.
yeah.
Hmm.
So you know what? And I mean, I guess I'll wrap it up here, but
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's
there's
anything
more
else, but
stuff.
yeah, no, that's
There
good.
is more
Yeah,
stuff, but I think we don't want to go on so long, but
right.
we'll give a little good tidbits to our viewers and listeners.
Hmm.
But there's more
Until
stuff
next
about
time.
domain.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, there will
things
be
like
more of these.
authority,
Hmm.
things like you know, how many links you got going here, how many links you got going there, all
Hmm.
having to do with domain stuff. We'll get into all of that pretty soon.
That's super helpful. Looking forward
Yeah,
to it. All right. Well, thank you, Zeke. And
awesome, Greg.
thank you for listening or watching or however you're seeing this, folks. My name is Greg Benevin on behalf of Website Depot. Take it easy and have a good day.